"Evening, Sheriff," I said as I pushed the door open. Dust clung to my boots. My badge felt heavy on my chest. No answer. Just laughter behind the half-open office door. I heard my name. "Eli won't know," Clara's voice said, soft and low. "He don't need to know." Sheriff Mason laughed. "He's too proud to ask questions." My heart stopped. I stood still, my hand on the frame. "What if he finds out?" Clara asked. "Then I'll handle him," Mason said. "He owes me his life." I bit my lip till I tasted blood. My home, my promise, my trust, all inside that room. I stepped back. The floor creaked. Silence. "Who's there?" Mason called. "Just me," I said. "Back from patrol." The door opened. Mason smiled, big and fake. "Eli, you look like hell." "Long ride?" "Long enough," I said. Clara stood behind him, eyes wide, lips trembling. "You scared me," she said. I nodded. "Didn't mean to." Mason clapped my shoulder. "Come on, boy, sit, drink." "No thanks," I said. "Got reports to write." He laughed again. "Always the good deputy. That's why I like you." His hand stayed on my shoulder too long. I left. Outside, the night air hit me like a hammer. The town was quiet. Only the river made a sound. Clara came out minutes later. "Eli, wait." I kept walking. "Please," she said. "You look angry. Should I be?" I asked. She bit her lip. "It's nothing." "Just talk. Talk about me." She looked away. "You don't understand." "I heard enough," I said. "Eli, don't do this," she whispered. "Mason means well." "Does he?" I laughed. "He owns the town." "He owns you. That's not fair. Neither is betrayal." Her eyes filled with tears. "I never wanted—" "Save it," I said. "I need some air." I walked to the river. The moon hung low, bright as a coin. I threw a stone. Ripples spread like secrets. I spoke to the dark. "What am I doing?" The river didn't answer. Back at my small home, I took off my badge and laid it on the table. It looked wrong, like it belonged to someone else. The lamp flickered. Shadows crawled. I sat there till the oil ran out. Next morning, I found Mason in front of the jail. He was laughing with the mayor. "Morning, Eli," he called. "Heard you were up late." "Couldn't sleep," I said. "Dreams of Clara?" He teased. I forced a smile. "Something like that." The mayor walked off. Mason leaned close. "Don't poke where you shouldn't, boy. The world's dirty. Keep your hands clean. Is that advice or a threat?" I asked. He smiled. "Call it both." I walked away before I did something stupid. At noon, Clara came to the stables. "Eli, listen. Mason's in trouble. If he goes down, we all go down." "We," I said. "So you're with him now." "It's not like that. He helped my family." "With what?" "Money? Guilt?" She shook her head. "You don't get it." "This town needs him. This town needs truth," I said. Her hand touched mine. "Promise me, don't fight him, please." I pulled back. "I can't promise that." Tears rolled down her cheek. "Then he'll destroy you." "Maybe," I said. "But I'll go down clean." She left. I watched her walk away, her shadow long under the sun. That evening I sat in the saloon. "Jonas Pike sat beside me, old friend, half drunk. Still wear that badge?" he asked. "For now," I said. He snorted. "Badges don't mean nothing." "Men do. Mason used to be one," I said. "Was he?" Jonas laughed. "He ain't been a man in years." I didn't answer. I just drank. The liquor burned like truth. "Careful," Jonas said. "Too much truth kills a man." I looked at him. "Then maybe I'm already dead." He raised his glass. "To ghosts, then." We drank. When I returned home, a letter lay on my door. No name. Just 2 words. "Don't ask." I stared at it till dawn. The sun rose over the river, red as blood. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were tired, my face hard. "I didn't order this," I said to myself. But the cowboy in the glass didn't answer. He just stared back. I stood at the office door, hand tight on the handle. Inside, Sheriff Mason talked and laughed. His voice rolled like smoke. "Eli Carter still believes in justice," he said. The men laughed. I pushed the door open. "Mornin', Sheriff." He looked up. Wide smile, white teeth sharp. "Mornin', Deputy Carter." "You look tired." "Long night?" "Long enough," I said. "Can we talk?" He waved the others away. "Of course, son, sit." I stayed standing. "I heard things, Sheriff. People talk about stolen money, missing men. I need to know the truth." He laughed soft. "Truth? You been listening to drunks again?" "No, I saw papers." Numbers that don't add up, he leaned back. Eli, you think I steal money? You think I sell justice for coin? His tone was sweet poison. I don't want to think it, I said. But nothing, he cut me. The town loves me. You hear that, Belle? They trust me. They call me hero. He stood and walked close. You're young. Don't break what feeds you. His breath smelled like whiskey. I stepped back. I only want to do right. Then stop digging, he said. That's an order. He patted my badge. Keep that clean. Heavy thing, isn't it? I left the office. The sun hit my eyes hard and white. My badge burned hot on my chest. I felt its weight. People in the street smiled at me. Morning, deputy. I smiled back. My mouth lied. My heart didn't. Clara stood by the bakery, basket in hand. Her dress moved with the wind. I walked to her. Clara, I said. She turned slow. Eli, you look pale. I talked to Mason. Her eyes dropped. You shouldn't. Why? You scared. She bit her lip. Please don't start this here. Start what? Asking why my sheriff hides money in boxes marked grain? A hand shook. You don't know what you're saying. I know enough, I said. I know you keep his books. She looked around. Lower your voice. I didn't. You used to talk about truth. What happened to that, Clara? Tears filled her eyes. You don't understand. Then make me. She whispered. He helps me. He promised. Promised what? Love? Safety? Money? She stepped back. You're angry. I'm alive. Please, Eli, let it go. Not this time. She left fast, shoes clicking on dust. I watched her go until she turned the corner. My hands shook. I wanted to run after her, but pride held my boots in place. I went to the jailhouse. Grace Hill sat at the desk, polishing her gun. You look sick, she said. I'm fine. You're lying. Maybe. She put the gun down. It's Mason again, isn't it? I nodded, she sighed. Leave it. He's the law here. No, I said. He wears the badge, but the law's gone. You'll get yourself killed. Then at least I'll die right. She didn't answer. Only silence, heavy as prayer. That night, I walked the street alone. The town slept under a thin moon. Wind pushed dust across my boots. I touched my badge again, cold now. I thought of Clara's eyes full of fear. I thought of Mason's smile. Each memory was a knife. At the saloon, I met old Hank Doyle. He wiped the counter and said, You look like hell, boy. I feel worse. Drink? Just water. He poured it slow. Word says you and the sheriff had words. Word travels fast. Faster when money's in it. You think he's dirty too? I think dirt sticks to power. I drank. The water tasted like iron. Hank leaned close. You want justice? Careful. Justice eats men whole. I'll risk it. He nodded. Then keep your back to the wall. I left before midnight. The street lamps hummed. I looked at the courthouse. Its windows glowed yellow, like eyes watching me. Inside that light sat Mason and Clara. I saw their shadows move together. My chest burned, I whispered. You can have the money, but not my soul. A dog barked somewhere far. The night went still. I walked home, boots crunching dust. Each step felt heavier. The badge on my chest pulled me down, like chains made of fear and memory. When I reached my door, I stopped. Inside, my reflection waited in the small mirror by the lamp. I touched it. Who are you now? I asked. No one answered. Just my own tired face and the badge below it, shining, mocking. I sat on the bed. The gun lay on the table. I whispered to the dark. Tomorrow I quit. But then I saw Clara's smile again. Soft, false. And Mason's laugh, deep as rot. I clenched my fists. No, I said. Not yet. Not till they pay. The lamp flickered once, then went out. Only silence stayed, thick and warm. I breathed it in and waited for morning. The night was cold when Jonas walked in. He looked older, rougher, his eyes still sharp. Eli Carter, he said. Didn't think I'd see you again? I nodded. Jonas Pike, I thought you were dead. He smiled. Almost was. You saved me once. I poured whiskey into 2 dirty glasses. The saloon was quiet. Only the wind spoke. He watched me. You look tired. Trouble? I laughed, but it hurt. You could say that. He leaned forward. Tell me, old friend. I didn't plan to, but the words came out. The sheriff, I said. He's not who he seems, Jonas grinned. He never is. What did he do? He took everything, I said. And Clara helped, he raised a brow. Your woman? My mistake, I said. She made her choice. He whistled low. You look like a man ready to burn something. I said nothing. My hands shook on the glass. Jonas poured another drink. You want to talk? I stared at the brown liquid. No, I want truth. He looked around, then lowered his voice. You think Mason is clean? You're blind, I froze. What do you know? I know the sheriff runs the river routes, he said. Money, goods, weapons. The town is his, I frowned. And Clara? She keeps his books, Jonas said. Smart girl. Dangerous girl? My chest went tight. You sure? He nodded. Saw her myself last week. Counting Mason's gold. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to scream. But I just sat there. Jonas said, Don't look at me like that. I'm only telling you truth, I whispered. Truth kills. He leaned closer. You want payback? I shook my head. No, I want peace, he laughed. Peace is for the dead. We drank in silence. The fire cracked. Outside, the night felt heavier. Jonas said, I can help you. I said, I don't need help. He smiled. You do, for old time's sake. I stood up. I'm done with blood, he stared. You sure about that? I said nothing and walked out. The air was cold, full of dust and fear. My boots echoed down the empty street. I passed the sheriff's office, the lights still on. Inside, I saw Mason and Clara talking. He touched her hand. She didn't pull away. Something cracked inside me. At home, I lit a small lamp. The silence screamed. On the table was a folded paper. My name written on it. I opened it with shaking fingers. Don't dig deeper, Eli, please. Clara. My knees went weak. The lamp flickered. I sat on the floor, the note in my hand. The words burned more than fire. Jonas's voice echoed in my head. Peace is for the dead. Maybe he was right. I took my gun and placed it on the table. My hands still shook. Don't dig deeper, I whispered. But my heart already had. I looked out the window at the dark street. The river glimmered far away. Somewhere out there the sheriff laughed. Somewhere Clara counted his gold. I made a promise then, quiet but real. If they wanted me gone, they should have killed me, because now I would dig, and when I found what was buried, I'd make them both remember my name. The whiskey burned down my throat. The fire in my chest grew stronger. The night outside felt like blood, and I whispered to no one, This isn't over. The moon followed me down the dirt road. My boots sank in the wet dust. I could smell smoke and river water. The wind carried voices, low, rough, secret. I moved slow, my gun cold in my hand. Keep quiet, one man said. Sheriff don't want no noise. I hid behind a tree. The river glowed silver. 4 men stood by the crates, money and guns packed inside. I saw Mason's mark on the box. His name burned into the wood. My heart hit hard in my chest. So it's true, I stepped out. Drop it, I said. My voice shook, but I held the gun steady. One man laughed. Deputy Eli, you lost boy? Tell Mason I found his river, I said. He spat on the ground. You won't live to tell him. Bullets flashed. The night screamed. I fired back. The noise tore the sky open. One man fell. Another ran. A shot hit my arm. I dropped behind a log, breathing dirt and pain. Move in, someone shouted. I rolled toward the water, felt the cold drag of the river take me. My gun slipped away. My blood mixed with the current. The moon blurred. I thought of Clara's face, her eyes when she said she loved me. Lies, all of it. I woke up coughing in a dark room. My head throbbed. The smell of whiskey and soap filled the air. Mary Lou sat by my bed holding a lantern. You fool, she whispered. You should have run. I couldn't, I said. Not yet. She washed the blood from my arm, slow and gentle. You'll die for that badge, she said. I already did. She sighed. You can't fight the sheriff alone. I don't need to fight him, I said. I just need to show the truth. She looked at me, her eyes full of pity. Truth don't buy food, Eli. Truth gets men buried. Her words stung, but I stayed quiet. I watched the lantern flame dance on the wall. Outside, rain started to fall. The sound felt like broken glass. Later, when she slept, I took paper and pen from her desk. My hand shook as I wrote, Clara, if you ever loved me, meet me by the old bridge at dawn. I'll wait. I folded the letter and gave it to a boy to deliver. He nodded and ran into the night. I sat by the window till morning. Every shadow looked like Mason's men. Every creak felt like a gun cocking. I whispered the same words over and over. Home, promise, gun, blood, dust. When the sun came up, I went to the bridge. The water moved slow, heavy. I waited an hour, then 2. Clara never came. Instead, smoke rose from the hill. My home, the place I built with my own hands. Fire crawled through the roof, red and wild. I ran. The heat hit my face before I reached the door. The walls screamed. My horse kicked in the barn. I couldn't save it. I fell to my knees in the dust. Behind me, someone laughed, and far away, but I heard it. Mason's voice. "You took the heavy one, Eli," he said once. The badge. The lies, the love. All heavy. Now I knew what he meant. The fire swallowed everything. My letters, my bed, my mother's Bible. I had nothing left but the ache in my chest. Mary Lou found me hours later, still staring at the ashes. "It's gone," she said softly. "I know. You can come with me. I'll hide you." I shook my head. "No more hiding," she touched my shoulder. "Then what will you do?" I stood, the wind carrying smoke around us. "What I should have done long ago," she frowned. "And what's that?" I looked toward the town, toward the sheriff's office. The badge still burned in my pocket, hot as sin. "Make him pay." The words tasted like blood. Mary Lou stepped back. "Eli, don't." But I was already walking. The fire behind me, the river whispering secrets I could never wash away. I didn't look back. The fire was loud. I could hear it breathe. The house cracked and screamed. Smoke hit my throat like sand. I stood in the yard, watching my home die. Jonas came from the dark. He said, "You can't save it." "I know," I said. "Then stop watching." "I can't." The wind blew heat on my face. My badge melted on the porch rail. My gun was gone, my clothes black with dust. "This was all I had," I whispered. Jonas spat in the dirt. "No, you had trust. No, you got truth." I didn't answer. The sky turned red like blood. The flames ate the walls slow like they enjoyed it. Jonas stepped closer. "They did this to you." I nodded. "Mason, and the woman?" Clara helped him. He said nothing for a while. When the roof fell, I didn't flinch. Jonas said, "Now what, deputy?" I looked at the fire. "I'm no deputy." He smiled. "Good. Now you're free." We walked to the river after the fire died. The night was cold, the water black. I held my badge. It was bent and hot. I threw it in the mud. The sound was soft like a sigh. Jonas watched me. "That felt good." "No, but it's done." He handed me a small flask. I drank. It burned worse than the smoke. "Tell me the plan," I said. Jonas laughed. "So it's time?" I nodded. "It's time." He leaned on a tree. "Simple then. We don't fight them. We ruin them." "How?" "Money, paper, words, same tools they used." "You mean steal?" "I mean balance the scale." I looked at the river. "You ever kill a man?" He said once, didn't help. "Didn't fix the hole inside. Then why help me?" He shrugged. "Because I see the same hole in you." We sat in silence. The fire still burned behind us. I could smell it. Wood, oil, memory. Jonas said, "You ready for this?" I said, I was ready the day he lied. We rode to town at dawn. The sun came up behind the smoke. The streets were quiet. Dogs barked somewhere far. People watched from windows. They knew something had changed. Jonas said, "First stop, the bank." I frowned. "You think they'll let us in?" "They'll let me in. I got friends in low places." He grinned, showing one gold tooth. Inside the bank, the air smelled of paper and fear. Jonas spoke to the clerk. "Need a transfer," he said. The man nodded fast. Money moved easy when men feared bullets. While Jonas worked, I waited by the door. I saw the sheriff's wagon outside. For a moment, I thought Mason might come in. My hand went to my gun, but it wasn't there. All I had was rage. Jonas came out smiling. "Done," he said. "How much?" "Enough to shake his world." "Good." He handed me a folded note. "Ledger codes. Proof of his crime." I stared at the paper. "Where did you get this?" He smirked. "You'd be shocked what drunks say after whiskey." We left before noon. Jonas said, "Now we wait." "For what?" "For Mason to panic. And Clara?" "She'll run to him." "Fear makes lovers stupid." I said nothing. At the inn, Mary Lou saw me. Her eyes went wide. "Eli, you alive?" "Barely." She grabbed my arm. I told you to leave. I can't. Your house, gone. She covered her mouth. Oh my God. Don't pray for me, I said. Pray for them. Jonas waited by the window, cleaning his gun. Mary Lou glared at him. You bringing him trouble? He brought it first, Jonas said. Enough, I said. I just need a room. She sighed and gave me a key. Second floor, but if the sheriff comes, he won't. That night I couldn't sleep. The ceiling creaked, the floor whispered. I thought about Clara's voice, soft and scared. How she once said, "Promise me you'll never change." I broke that promise when I picked up the gun again. At dawn, Jonas knocked. Ready? He asked. For what? To finish it, I nodded. Now. We walked to Mason's office before sunrise. The town was waking up slow. I saw Clara at the window above the jail. She saw me too. Her face went white as dust. Jonas said, Want me to do it? I shook my head. No, this is mine. He smiled. Thought so. He handed me the papers again. Then make it count. I stepped inside the office. The room smelled of coffee and lies. Mason wasn't there, only his chair, his desk, and the echo of laughter. I placed the papers on his desk. When he reads them, he'll see his own handwriting, forged, but perfect. His crimes signed by his hand. Jonas stood in the doorway. He said, You sure about this? I said, I'm done being sure. He nodded. Then it's done. We walked out. The morning light hit my eyes. The town looked the same, but I wasn't. My home was gone. My love was gone. My badge was gone. Only one thing stayed, the fire inside. Jonas said, You smiling? Yeah. Why? I don't know. He looked at me strange. Don't lose yourself, Eli. Too late, I said. The sun climbed higher. The world looked clean, but I knew better. Ashes don't lie. They keep every secret you try to burn. I was cleaning my gun when I heard a knock. 3 slow taps. Careful. Nervous. Who's there? I asked. It's me. Lucas. My chest froze. The sheriff's son. I opened the door. He stood there, hat low, eyes scared. Lucas, I said. You shouldn't be here. He stepped inside fast and shut the door. I had to come, he whispered. My father, he's not the man you think. I almost laughed. I know exactly what he is. Lucas shook his head. No, you don't. You think he's evil. But he's afraid. I looked at him hard. Afraid of what? Of you, he said. That made me stop. Of me? He opened his coat and pulled out a stack of papers. These are his ledgers, he said. Shipments, bribes, all of it. And this, he handed me a folded letter. Clara's handwriting. She wrote this for him. My heart hit my ribs. I unfolded it. Sheriff, the money from the South Line came. Eli suspects something. I'll keep him close. Clara. Her words burned like fire. I sat down. My hands shook. Lucas, watch me. I didn't mean to hurt you, he said. I just want to stop him. Stop all of this. Why tell me? I asked. You could run. You could live. He looked away. I can't run from truth. That sounded like something I once said. Before the blood, before the fire. You're brave, I said quietly. And stupid, he smiled a little. Maybe both. I poured him water. Does your father know you took these? He nodded slowly. He'll find out soon. Then go, I said. Go far, don't look back. He stayed still. Will you use them? Yes, I said. But I'll pay for it. We sat in silence. The sound of wind pressed against the walls. Lucas finally spoke. My mother used to say good men carry heavy hearts. You do, don't you? I didn't answer. He sighed. I wish things were different. So do I. He stood. Then maybe they can be. Take this, Eli. He handed me a small key. It opens his safe. Evidence, letters, everything. I stared at the key. You sure? He nodded. If I die, promise me you'll show the truth. Don't talk like that, I said, but he just smiled. Promise, I promise. He left after that. No goodbye, just a nod. When the door closed, I sat there for a long time holding the letter, the ledgers, the key. The fire inside me burned hot again. That night I went to Jonas. He was smoking by the river. You got it? He asked. I dropped the papers on the table. Everything, he whistled. Well, I'll be damned. The boy did it. He did, I said. He's just a kid. Jonas looked at me. Then you better use it before the sheriff finds him. I told him to run. Did he listen? I didn't answer. Jonas cursed. You think Mason won't notice? That man smells fear like blood, I nodded. I know. We stayed quiet. The river moved slow, black in the night. Jonas tossed his cigarette into it. You still think revenge fixes anything? He asked. No, I said. But it's all I have left. When I got back to my cabin, the air felt heavy. Something was wrong. I saw the light under my door, flickering. I drew my gun, pushed the door open. Inside, the room was torn apart. Drawers open, papers gone. The ledgers, gone. The key still in my hand. And on the table, a small coin. The sheriff's badge. He knew. My blood went cold. I ran outside, down the hill, across the dark street. Voices came from the jailhouse. I stayed in the shadows. Then I saw them. Mason, 2 deputies. And between them, Lucas, his hands tied, his face beaten. Where did you hide them? Mason growled. Lucas spat blood. You'll never find them, Mason laughed. You think I won't? Boy, you ain't your mother. Lucas looked up. No, I'm not you either. The sheriff's hand flashed. The gun roared. The sound tore through the night. I froze. Lucas fell. Just like that. The deputies looked away. Mason smiled, calm, like it was nothing. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just stood there, in the dark, shaking. Jonas found me later by the river again. He said nothing. He didn't have to. I opened my hand. The key glinted in the moonlight. Still warm from my grip, Jonas asked softly, What now? I looked at the water. Now I stop him. He nodded. You sure you can live after that? I'm not planning to, I said. The night wind carried the sound of the sheriff's laughter. It echoed down the empty streets, cruel and hollow. I whispered to myself, You'll pay, Mason. You'll pay with blood. Then I loaded my gun. Slow, calm, like prayer, for Lucas, for truth. For the promise I made, I felt no fear, only silence, the kind before a storm, and when I walked away, I didn't look back. The sky burned red when I reached the sheriff's office. Dust bit my eyes. The whole town stood silent on Main Street. They watched me walk, one slow step at a time. My hand rested on my gun. My heart beat hard like a drum before war. Eli, Mary Lou whispered behind me. Don't do this. I must, I said. He took everything. The doors swung wide. Sheriff Mason stood inside, calm as a preacher. Clara stood near him, pale and shaking. Well, Mason said, the lost deputy returns. I'm not lost, I said. You are, he laughed. Big words from a man with no badge. I buried that badge, I said. Same as the truth you killed. Mason leaned back in his chair. Sunlight cut across his face. His smile looked carved from stone. You got proof? He asked. Show me your big story. I threw the folder on his desk. Ledgers. Letters. The last words of his son. He picked up the papers, slow, calm. Then he struck a match. Flame crawled across the pages. Clara gasped. Mason, stop! He smiled at her. No proof, no crime. The smell of smoke filled the room. I felt the fire crawl into me. You killed Lucas, I said. He shrugged. The boy played hero. Heroes die early, my breath shook. Say his name again, I said. Lucas, he said, mocking. Weak like you, I slammed the table. The whole room jumped. He didn't. Careful, Eli, he said. The town still calls me sheriff. They won't after today. Oh? He said, smiling. You think they'll follow you? You think you're justice? You're just another gun with a sad story. Maybe, I said. But my story's ending with you, he laughed, loud and cruel. Shoot me then. Prove you're the man they whisper about. Clara stepped between us. Please, she said, tears on her face. Don't do this. Mason, say sorry. Just once. He didn't. He looked at her, then at me. His eyes dared me. My hand trembled, Eli, she said softly. If you kill him, you'll lose what's left of you. I looked at her. He already took it. She reached for me. Her hand brushed mine. It felt cold, like the river that night. Remember the promise, she said. You said you'd never use your gun for hate. I said that before I knew what hate felt like. Mason chuckled. Touching. He drew his own gun, slow, deliberate. Let's see who's faster. Time broke into dust. The world shrank to his eyes and my breath. Outside, someone shouted my name. Inside, fire and silence. I heard the clock tick. 1 beat, 2, he grinned. Go on, deputy. Show them who you are. I saw Clara behind him. Her lips moved. Don't. But my body moved first. The shot thundered. It tore through air, through time. Mason's eyes widened. He stumbled back, hit the desk, fell hard. The fire from the papers licked across the floor. Flames met blood, Clara screamed. I stood frozen, smoke in my lungs. He looked up at me, bleeding. You finally did it, he said. Then he laughed again, weak, coughing blood. Welcome to hell, son. I wanted to say something. No words came. Clara knelt beside him. Stay with me, she cried. He touched her cheek, left a red handprint, and went still. The sound of his last breath filled the room. Then nothing, only crackle and smoke. Clara looked up at me. What did you do? I ended it. No, she said. You ended yourself. The door burst open. People rushed in, Grace, Mary Lou, the others. They stopped when they saw Mason's body. Grace raised her gun. Drop yours, Eli, I did. It hit the floor with a hollow sound. God help you, she said. I doubt he will. They dragged me outside. The whole town stared. Some shouted, some prayed. The dust tasted like iron. Mary Lou ran forward. Eli, why? He burned everything, I said. So I burned him. She shook her head, crying. Justice isn't fire, Eli. Then what is it? She couldn't answer. No one could. They locked me in the small cell behind the office. The same one Mason once used for drunks. Now it was mine. Through the window I saw the fire die. Smoke rose into the sky, gray and tired. I thought of Lucas, of Clara's trembling hands, of my gun lying in the dust. Grace came to the bars. You'll hang for this. I know. Was it worth it? I looked at her, tired. Ask him. She turned away. The door closed. The sound echoed like the shot itself. I sat there till dawn. The town woke slowly, pretending nothing had changed. But it had. Everything had. I could still smell smoke on my clothes. I could still feel the weight of the gun. Mary Lou brought me water. Her hands shook. Drink, she said. You look half dead. I'm half something, I said. She sighed. I hope you find peace. Peace died with him. She looked at me long, then walked away. The door clicked shut. The world went quiet again. I leaned back against the wall. The morning light touched the bars. I whispered to no one. I did what had to be done. Then I laughed, low, empty. Because even I didn't believe it. The gun was still warm in my hand. Smoke rose slow, like breath in winter. Mason lay on the floor, eyes open, chest still. Clara screamed my name. Eli! Her voice cut the air. I didn't answer. I just watched the blood spread, red and heavy. Eli, what did you do? She cried. I said nothing. My hand shook, but I kept the gun steady. I told you, I said. I told you I'd end it. She stepped closer, tears on her face. You didn't have to. He made me, I said. He took everything, my badge, my home, you. Clara dropped to her knees beside Mason. He was wrong, she whispered. But he was still my family. I turned away. Family. That word used to mean something. Now it was just noise in the wind. The people outside shouted. Doors opened, feet ran. Voices called for the sheriff, for the law, for justice. But the sheriff was dead, and I was no law anymore. I walked out into the dust. The sun hit my face like a slap. People stared. Some gasped. Some spat at my feet. Eli Carter, someone said. You're done. I nodded. I know. Grace Hill stepped forward, her hand on her holster. Drop it, Eli, she said. I looked at her. Her eyes were hard but sad. She wasn't like Mason. She still believed in rules. I didn't. I placed the gun on the ground. It's over, I said. But she didn't move. Turn around, she said. So I did. The cold steel cuffs closed around my wrists. The crowd watched in silence. Only the wind spoke. At the jail, she pushed me into a chair. What were you thinking? She asked. I wasn't, I said. You killed him. He was already dead, I whispered. Grace slammed the table. Stop talking like that! Her voice shook. You wanted justice, not blood. I looked up at her. Sometimes they're the same thing, she sighed. You'll hang for this, I smiled. Maybe. She left the room. The door closed. The lock clicked like a gun hammer. Hours passed. Maybe days. I didn't count. I just stared at the wall, thinking of the river. That quiet place where secrets slept. I needed to see it again. To end where it began, That night, someone opened my cell. Mary Lou stood there, holding a lantern. Her face was pale. "Come," she whispered. I blinked. "Why?" "Because you still have to know." "Know what?" She pressed something into my hand and a folded paper. "Mason's last words," she said. I followed her out the back door. The town was asleep. We moved through alleys, through dust and shadow. The stars were sharp above. Every step hurt, but I kept going. My boots left deep marks in the dirt. I didn't look back. At the riverbank, she stopped. "This is where it ends," she said. The water whispered. The moon lit the waves. I opened the note with shaking hands. The ink was smudged, but I read the words. "Tell him I understand now." I stared at it for a long time. Mary Lou said, "He wrote it before you shot him." I laughed. It was a hard, broken laugh. "He understood too late," she nodded. "Maybe, but he did." The river smelled of mud and memory. I looked at my reflection. The man staring back wasn't me. He was older, hollow, his eyes like glass. I wanted to throw a rock to break the image, but I didn't. "I thought I wanted peace," I said. Mary Lou sat beside me. "You still can have it." I shook my head. "Not after this." She took my hand. "You did what you thought was right." "Was it?" Silence. Only the water spoke. I dug a small hole in the mud. My fingers were cold and slow. I placed the gun inside. It looked strange, small, quiet, like a dead snake. I covered it with earth. "It's done," she said. I nodded, but inside I knew it wasn't. The weight stayed. "It lived in my chest, heavy as the badge I once wore. Will they come for you?" She asked. "Maybe. Will you run?" "No. Then what?" I looked at the river again. "I'll walk," I said. "Until the dust forgets my name." She smiled a little. "You always were stubborn." "I was loyal," I said. She touched my arm. "Loyalty kills, Eli." "I know," I said softly. "It killed us all." We sat there until the sky turned gray. The first light hit the water. It looked almost clean again. Mary Lou stood. "Goodbye," she whispered. I didn't answer. She left, her steps fading into the wind. I stayed. I watched the current move, slow and sure. The letter lay beside me. I read it one more time. "Tell him I understand now." I folded it tight and let it fall into the river. It floated for a second, then sank. I felt something shift inside me. Not peace, not pain, just space. The fire in my chest turned to smoke. I breathed out long and tired. The dust rose around me like ghosts. For a moment I thought I saw Lucas by the trees, smiling. Then he was gone. I stood and looked at the horizon. The town was behind me, far and small. The sun climbed slow, gold and quiet. I took one step forward, then another. The river sang low, like a voice I once knew. I whispered to it, "It's over." But deep down I knew, it never is. The wind felt dry when I rode into town again. Years had passed, but the dust looked the same. I saw the old sign, Silver Creek. My heart kicked once, then went still. A young voice called out, "Sir, you lost?" I turned. A boy stood by the jailhouse, a shiny badge on his chest. His boots were clean, his smile bright. "No," I said. "Just came to see the sheriff." He frowned. "We don't have one now. Town council runs things. You from around here?" I shook my head. "Used to be." He stepped closer. "Name?" I almost said it. "The old one. The one people cursed at night." I swallowed the name down. "Just passing through," he nodded, easy and kind. "Name's Tom. You can rest at the saloon. Tell Hank I said you're good." "Thanks, deputy," I said. The word felt heavy in my mouth. I walked to the saloon. The road was empty, but I heard whispers in the wind. Eli Carter. The killer. The lawman who broke. Inside, the saloon smelled like whiskey and memory. The same piano sat in the corner. The same mirror behind the bar. My reflection looked older, harder. Hank stood behind the counter, wiping a glass. His hair had gone gray. His eyes met mine, then froze. "Well," he said softly. "Didn't think I'd see you again." "Guess I couldn't stay gone," I said. He poured me a drink. "You shouldn't be here, Eli." "Just water," I said. "I don't drink no more." He smiled faintly. Still stubborn, I looked around. "Town looks quiet." "Quiet," he said, "but not clean. Same money runs it. Only new faces to spend it," I nodded. "And Mason's name?" "Dead man's name," Hank said. "His son's grave still gets flowers, though." I stared at my hands. "I never meant for Lucas to die." "I know," Hank said. But folks remember what they want. Some say you saved the town. Others say you cursed it. I gave a dry laugh. They're both right. The door creaked. Tom walked in cheerful. Evening, Hank. Got that new shipment from the east. Hank smiled. Good boy, that one. Reminds me of Lucas, I finished. Tom looked at me, puzzled. You knew him? Long time ago, I said. He was brave, Tom nodded. My pa told me about him. Said he stood for truth. I looked away. He did. Hank placed another glass down. This one's on the house. Tom raised an eyebrow. For what reason? Hank grinned. Old friend discount, Tom laughed. You must be someone important then. Not anymore, I said quietly. When Tom left, Hank leaned in. What now, Eli? You staying? I shook my head. No, I came to see if the dust still knew my name. It does. That's enough. He reached under the counter and pulled out a worn badge. My old one. The metal was dull, edges bent. Found this years back, he said. Figured it might come home someday. I stared at it. My hand shook as I took it. Feels heavy, Hank chuckled. That's what the Cowboy said when he got the wrong gun order once. Sheriff laughed and said, You got the heavy one. Guess it fits you. I smiled, the first real one in years. Maybe it does. I left the badge on the counter. Let it rest, Hank. The weight's yours now. He called after me. Eli, you sure you don't want a bed? I paused at the door. No, home's gone. Dust is all I need. Outside the wind blew harder. The sky burned orange over the hills. I walked past the river where secrets once drowned. I felt something lighter in my chest. Not peace, not joy, but space. Maybe that was enough. The town faded behind me, a ghost in gold light. My shadow stretched long on the road. I whispered to no one. I carried it, Mason. All the way. The river answered in silence. I walked on.